Good. You could play it down as a pre-season winner. You could say you beat the reigning premiers. I mean, how do you assess it?
Oh, look, I think any time there's a scoreboard, you feel that little bit of scoreboard pressure, I think, certainly as a playing group anyway. But look, I can't speak for the opposition, but look at the side we picked. We picked, I think, the world's tallest forward line with with a ruck and a key forward as a sub. So clearly that gives you the indication that we entered the game wanting to spread the load with game time across our whole list. We got game time into players like Wells and Del Santo last week, McDonald, Higgins. So there was a fair changeover this week, but the guys who came in, particularly the guys first up, were pretty good.
What were the conditions like, Brad? I suppose the first term, by your own standards, probably a little bit sloppy with some of the turnovers. Yeah,
just turnovers and ball handling, Nick. I think that because there's a pretty strong wind going one way, and we were kicking into it. So, other than the ball handling and turnovers, it wasn't too bad considering the advantage going the other way. But there's a lot of guys playing their first game, and I'm also really aware that Hawthorn had a heap of guys playing their first game. And we saw in the first half last week that our guys who hadn't played a practice game were very, very rusty. So we certainly treated it as a game to get match time and game time against really good opposition into all our playing list.
Could have rained a couple of last quarters, I think you kicked last 6 last week.
Yeah, going with a pretty hefty breeze both weeks. So if we can get a tailwind every last quarter, we'll be good finishers. But no, look, it is difficult. You're trying to balance the game time first and foremost. Wade and Petrie played last week, so subbing them off pretty much straight after half-time gives others an opportunity. And so we hopefully found a couple of players, and as a team, we're gelling a bit better.
Who did you like, Gino?
Yeah.
Who did you like, first up, and who played well for you?
I think Mason Wood's a player that we have pretty high expectations for. He's still got some work to do with his game overall, but he's got some really nice attributes, and he's a competitor, works really hard, and he adds a completely different dimension to our team. I thought Lee Adams coming back after a few injuries last year was really good, particularly early. And I thought our back half performed infinitely better than it did last week.
Any close to finalising the makeup of the forward line?
No. We'll keep toying with that. We've got a week off now before we play Richmond in the last NAB game. So clearly training form will come into it, but we'll keep playing with. We played with, I think, about 8 different forward structures today to have a look at it. So now we've got to go away and really analyse what we think is the best.
Did you see the Jared Waite report, and if so, any concerns?
Did he get reported?
I believe so.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
The
Stratton incident, I think there was an attempted spoil that got him high, I think.
No, I'm being a little bit facetious. I didn't see it. No.
Is it, you've got to talk to him about, it's probably a fine, it's probably $1,000, but it's part of the package of Jared that he's been suspended 7 times before. Did you talk to him about that when he came across?
Yeah, we did, but I think that he's... one thing we noticed about Jared, he jumps really early for the footy, and sometimes if he misjudges that jump, he gets himself in a terrible position. So he either crashes into someone or it's a clumsy spoil. And so, I think that as long as the intent's good, then, like the Zebra one a couple of years ago, we'll coach the intent, and if they make a mistake, we'll try and work with them around getting the decision right.
And happy with Robbie Tarrant and Joel Tippett down back, Brett?
Yeah, I think they, you often look at who the opposition have got, and Hale and Gunston and Roughhead and, various, probably Segler pushing forward bits and pieces. So they had some really good opponents. I thought they held up reasonably well.
Are all your forwards fit enough now? They've all had various, ailments, but they all seem like the decision on them won't be about their fitness, it'll just be the best forward line. Definitely
won't be availability, but in terms of fitness, that'll still have a bearing, because some have done more than others.
Thanks,
No,
all good.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.